And I do think we have a pretty good idea the two main starting linebackers for Syracuse football. One I'm more confident in than the other. However, that being said, I don't think that Syracuse is necessarily married to these two players as starters. It's not like we're sitting here saying one of these guys is Marlowe Wax. Like they're guaranteed to start, pencil them in right then and there. Number one is Derek McDonald. He's a veteran. He's been with the team since 2021, and he has made 28 starts over the past 3 seasons. I think it's safe to say that he is at least going to begin the year as a starter for Syracuse. Then you got Gary Bryant, a South Dakota transfer, an FCS All-American last season. And to be honest with you, that's great that he was an FCS All-American, that he dominated at that level. But it's a tough transition. He's going from FCS football to FBS football. The better of the two is FBS, obviously. And he's not just going from FCS to a group of 5 conference. No, he's going from FCS to a Power 4 conference in the ACC. Does that mean I'm writing off Gary Bryant, that he's going to stink? Absolutely not. Clearly, Syracuse sees something in him, and I've given the story before of guys who come from the FCS, step into the Power 4, and become All-Americans and NFL players in the Power 4. Jared Verse over at Florida State did that. That was very recently, too. So it can be done. I'm not sitting here saying that Gary Bryant is going to have a Jared Verse type impact, but you get the idea. It can certainly be done. I'm not going to write off Gary Bryant. I don't think that he is a quote-unquote lock to start, but if I had to guess right now, I'd pencil him in there as a starter. Beyond that, you got the depth linebackers. And there's a lot of competition here. The guy who I think will push early in fall camp is Anwar Sparrow. Anwar Sparrow was someone in December who initially entered the transfer portal, but decided to return to Syracuse. And we're obviously happy to have him back. Anwar Sparrow has mostly been a depth linebacker for Syracuse football, and he's been with the team since 2020, and he's actually made 4 starts for Syracuse during his time. And beyond Anwar Sparrow, you got Antoine Delorier, a true freshman, a top 20 linebacker over on ESPN in the nation in the 2025 recruiting class. And you also got James Hurd, still a young player as well. He appeared in 11 games for Syracuse last season. So I think we mentioned 5 linebackers in this segment here. You got Derek McDonald, Gary Bryant, Anwar Sparrow, Antoine Delorier, and James Hurd. I would not be surprised if all 5 of them at some point in the year started games for Syracuse football. And if you want more information about Syracuse's linebackers, there is a full podcast on this channel breaking them down. You can feel free to check that out when you're done watching or listening to this podcast. Let's get into the secondary now briefly, shall we? I think there are 3 guys that are all but guaranteed to start somewhere in the secondary. You got 2 veterans, probably will play safety, in Deuce Chestnut and Devin Grant. And then Syracuse probably has its cornerback 1 in true freshman 4-star Demetrius Samuel Jr. I think it's also likely that we're going to see Barry Buxton start in Syracuse's secondary at this point. He was at ACC Media Day. Fran Brown has raved about him. He's developing nicely. Veteran player, too. Now, as far as how it shakes out, is Barry Buxton going to be a safety? Is he going to play the star position? Remember, Syracuse, it's base defense. They have 5 defensive backs on the field. So if Barry Buxton's one of the safeties, that likely means that Devin Grant plays the star position. But either way, between those 4 players, I think all of them are probably going to start for Syracuse football. So what's available? Well, you got obviously all the depth behind those guys. But as far as starting lineup, cornerback 2 is certainly a position that is up for grabs. The leading candidate right now, in my opinion, is probably Davian Kerr. He appeared in 8 games last season as a true freshman, and he started 4 of those games. Again, as a true freshman. And then you got Chris Peel. a Georgia transfer from this offseason. He appeared in 4 games for the Georgia Bulldogs last year. We have seen Georgia players come to Syracuse and thrive under Fran Brown, mainly, of course, being Jackson Meeks.